Hi everybody, Penny here. Welcome to my kitchen. So today we are going to make my blueberry coffee cake. So step number one is to preheat your oven to 350. Then I have a 10-inch springform pan. If you have an 8-inch, that would do as well. Your cake will be a little bit higher. Or if you just have a regular high-sided cake pan, you can use that. Of course, if it's an 8-inch pan and it's a little higher, it might take a little longer to cook to get to the middle. So make sure you test it with a toothpick to see if it's done before you take it out of the oven. So that's step number one. This has been greased and I have a piece of parchment paper in the bottom. So that's lovely, that's all ready. We have a half a cup of butter and a half a cup of cream cheese, which is basically half a block, that I've not completely melted, but I've softened in the microwave because they were in the fridge. So we're going to cream that. Then we're going to add a half cup sugar. Normally this recipe calls for 1 cup of sugar, but I'm halving it up because I have some stevia. You could use Splenda or stevia, whichever one works for you, in with the flour. So we do have to cream the sugar into the butter and cream cheese, but if you're using Splenda or stevia, I always put it in with the dry ingredients because it won't blend properly with your butter. So we got a half cup of butter, half a cup cream cheese, and a half a cup of sugar. Then we're going to add 2 eggs, one at a time. Then we're going to be adding some milk, lemon juice, vanilla, and our dry ingredients. Our dry ingredients is 1 3/4 cup of flour, 3 teaspoons of baking powder, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and like I said, a half a cup of stevia. Now, if you're not using stevia, you can use 1 cup of sugar, okay, instead of the half a cup of sugar. But I'm doing that for my own benefit. We have 2 cups of blueberries right here, and then on top we're going to sprinkle some cinnamon and sugar. So that's 2 tablespoons of sugar and 1 tablespoon of cinnamon. So I think I've covered all the ingredients. Let's go. Okay, so we'll apologize for the noise. There we go. Cream your butter and your cream cheese. There we go. Now I'm going to add the half cup of sugar. There we are. And at this point, I'm also going to add 2 teaspoons of the vanilla. 2 teaspoons, yep. And 1 teaspoon of lemon. If you don't have lemon, don't worry about it. You could substitute it with some almond flavoring if you have almond flavoring. But if you don't have either or, the vanilla is just as good by itself. Not a problem. Not to worry about it at all. Okay, so get that all mixed in. Okay, now we're going to do our eggs one at a time. There we go. Oh, I got a shell. Now I get to show you the trick with the shell. So, the trick to get the shell out, don't go in there with your hands because it repels for some reason, even with a spoon. But if you take the egg shell, and it won't run away from the eggshell, and you just take it out like that. So that's pretty cool. Easy peasy. So we're going to whip them one at a time. Now I'm also just going to scrape down the sides a little bit before I put in the other egg, just to make sure that all gets incorporated. There we are. Now we're going to do the other egg. And hopefully we won't get a shell this time. I'll do 2 hands. No shell. It's all good. Okie dokie. So now what we're going to do is add our dry ingredients alternately with the milk. So we're going to add some dry, half the milk, some dry, the other half of the milk, and then the rest of the dry. So the milk is in half and the dry ingredients are more or less in thirds, you could say. It doesn't have to be exactly like that, but close enough. Pour in half the milk. And I'm just going to scrape down the sides before we add another little bit of flour. There we are. So we're going to add another little bit of flour. Beat that up well. Now we'll add the other half of the milk. Last little bit of the flour. Now that's just regular 2% milk. I'm actually out of tin milk, believe it or not. But if I had tin milk, I'd use it. But if all you have is 2% or all you have in the house is half and half, go for it. Whatever you've got there. Even if you don't have any milk but you have plain yogurt, you could do the same thing. You're just looking for a little bit of liquid and a little bit of dairy. I'm making blueberry coffee cake. Can you say hi to everybody? Yeah, you can put that away if you like. Now, I don't want to over mix it, but I do want to scrape down the sides and make sure that we've got it all incorporated. There we go. So I'll just lift it up really slowly to get most of the batter off. And I'm sure Barry and Caitlin will take care of those in short order. Here you go, Caitlin. Hang on, she's got to close the dishwasher. There you are. Now, just make sure all the flour from the sides is all mixed in there. Now, we're going to put half the batter in the pan. Then we're going to put the blueberries all over that. Then we're going to put the other half of the batter on top of that. So it's super, super easy. So we're going to put about half, maybe a little more, about half.
Why are you cooking in the oven?
I'm going to cook the cake. So we're
Cake for what? On my birthday?
No, it's for dessert. Okay, and so just spreading that out a little bit. Like I said, if you have an 8-inch pan, which unfortunately I don't have, I've got it on, actually Barry has it on order for me because my birthday was earlier this month and he got me this beautiful pan, a couple other little things, and on back order is the 8-inch pan. I'm looking forward to getting that. So spread out your blueberries a little bit. There you go. And then we're going to cover them with the rest of the batter. Just spread that around a little bit so that we can cover the blueberries as best we can. And there we go. And spread these out. Oh, roll blueberry in the batter. That's okay. Look at that. Okie dokie. Now we're gonna mix up our cinnamon and sugar. There you go. And we're just gonna sprinkle it from a height and from the top. Oh, this is really, really good.
Smells like apple candy.
And if Cease is watching, my friend in Edmonton, when we all lived in Newfoundland, I used to make this. I've changed it a little bit since then. I've added the, you know, the cream cheese and whatnot. But this was one of his favorite desserts that I used to make. So if Cease, if you're watching, I'm thinking about you. Okay, this is gonna go in the oven for between 45, 55 minutes. And when it comes out and cools off, we'll be back to show you. Hi everybody, back again. So dessert is ready. So here is my blueberry coffee cake. And it is beautiful. A little dollop of Cool Whip or cream or whatever the case may be. There you go. I hope you give it a try. Enjoy. Bye.